I drive a busted ass 2013 Jeep Wrangler that sucks. Like, it's the lowest version of it. I do not need to drive this car anymore. Believe me, I can buy a new one.
So I'm waking up a little bit. I'm gonna drink a significant amount of black coffee. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and then I'm gonna read. So what I'm reading now is, okay, there you go. Red Famine. It's about Stalin's war on the Ukraine. So basically how Stalin intentionally starved, millions of Ukrainians. I wanted to read this book. I kind of wanted to get into this conflict. I like to be informed on these things. So I've talked to one of my good friends who was actually my roommate for a while, who works in the military, he's a lawyer in the military, master of international relations, speaks like 3 languages, brilliant guy. So I got his perspective on it, and then I'm also trying to read up on it. And the fact of the matter is that the entire circumstance is way more complicated than what you're gonna get on your mainstream media, right? They like to kind of give you punchy things. This stuff, the conflicts with the Ukraine stretch way back into the Middle Ages. And we're talking like several hundred years of conflict between Russia and the Ukraine. But that book, it seems to be starting and focusing mostly on from 1917 on until present day, with obviously the main focus being when Stalin starved out the Ukraine in the 30s. That being said, I want to eat this real quick, I want to read real quick, and I got to get to work real quick because it's 5:21. I am running a little bit behind because I'm trying to film this stuff. And anyway, today's going to be a grinder, and let's get started.
So next up, look, YouTube studio's coming along. Next up, I have to get through my computer stuff. So I have to answer emails that I didn't answer last night because when I'm home, I like to be present at home. And then I have to set up any appointment either later this week or later on in the day where I can hopefully close some sales. Then I have to get the computer work done. Then I have to get my fitness in. Then I have a meeting with a consultant. He's a consultant in the gym space. Just initial meeting to see if he thinks there's any potential I'm leaving on the table, and if so, where we can actually work together to improve this business, improve the outlook for my team, for my customers, and ultimately for myself as well. So that's a meeting I have at 8:30. So I gotta get all that done before 8:30, run to the bank because I close on a 3-unit today. I'll talk you through that process. But anyway, let's get through the computer stuff. It would help if I had the microphone on. So this is my second time recording this. I just finished my cardio. I'm gonna hit up some weights, but I did get a text message in response to a text message that I sent from somebody who's interested in joining the gym. So normally what I do is somebody will go on my website, they'll fill out a contact form. Then within that contact form, I get their phone number. I send them a text message. They don't answer unknown numbers. They don't answer unknown emails. Oftentimes that goes to junk, but people, and myself included, always answer a text.
In terms of what you hoped to accomplish with our time today.
More or less, after the conversation that I had, your partner, Sean, what was his name again?
Joe,
yeah. So Joe is like, hey, I want to connect you with Sean because he might be able to find some leaks in your business or potential revenue opportunities that you might not see. All right, we finished that meeting. And then I had a couple customers. Now I gotta run to the bank. Because I have a closing today. So basically, ooh, I'm a little bit dark. There we go. Basically, you gotta, when you're closing on a property for people who have never bought a house or anything, you have to get a cashier's check to basically make sure that it isn't gonna bounce. That way you're not living in a house that you can't put the down payment on. So I'm gonna run to the bank real quick, get that check. That way, right after my last customer for the morning, I can run right out to closing. Then I gotta run out to Plum High School. I do their strength and conditioning, and then back home. All right, just got out of the bank. I'm running out of time. I got a customer in, 9 minutes. So let's make this quick. Look, here's the check. I'm not gonna show you where it's going to, but I'll show you how much it is. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yep, it's $48,745.49. That is obviously not the total value of the property. I am using 75% debt to acquire this property. And some people, oh, debt's a bad thing. I disagree. I will get into as much low interest, long-term, fixed interest debt as I possibly can to buy cash producing assets. A lot of people get in trouble with debt, but I don't think it's because they're using it to buy cash producing assets. I think they're usually using it to buy things like vehicles, vacations, homes that are too big that they live in and doesn't actually produce any cash. Which is fine, I want to have those things too, but at the same time, most of my money now is going into investments because I know that at some point it's going to pay off. In fact, it's already paying off pretty substantially. But before I get too off topic, people are afraid of debt because they're afraid of the underlying asset that the debt is basically helping you acquire. So I don't mind buying rental properties with debt. In fact, if the math works out, I wish I could buy a property with 90% debt, 100% debt if I could. Again, if the numbers work out. But people get into problems when they buy things like new cars, vacations, homes that are too big, again, because that is taking money out of your pocket. I drive a busted ass 2013 Jeep Wrangler that sucks. Like, it's the lowest version of it. I do not need to drive this car anymore. Believe me, I can buy a new one. But at the same time, I would rather funnel that money into things that put cash in my pocket. And am I gonna buy a new car? Hell yeah, at some point I'm gonna buy a new car. I'm gonna need a new car when my wife and I start having kids. Look, dude, I don't even have back seats. I treat this thing like a work truck. But at some point, yes, I'm gonna need a new car. And yeah, honestly, it's gonna be sweet. But for now, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this car because I know I want to keep investing in my business. I want to keep buying real estate. I want to build this paper asset portfolio because in the long run, that's how you win. It's how you win. It's cool to walk up, oh, I got an M Series BMW. And if you've built your wealth, fuck yeah, take the M Series BMW. But if you're trying to get a little too fancy before you're fancy, bro, you're going to lose long term. A guy like me who's patient and does not mind grinding will overtake you for sure at some point. So again, that's just a real quick video on why I like debt, how I use debt, and don't be fancy before you're fancy. All right, real quick, I'm a minute late to closing, but closing on this new 3-unit, closing on this new small apartment. This will push my total real estate portfolio to over $1 million, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool number, 7 figures. There's people with way more real estate than that, but for me, that's kind of a big number, and I want to keep growing it. After this is all residential. I want to start getting into commercial, but one step at a time. I got to go spend this money, leverage this debt, and get a couple more units. All right, finishing up the day. It is 6:28. Just got back from working with the high school team. But you saw my day. There were some novel things in that day. Obviously, I don't close on an apartment complex every single day, but I did that today. And if I wasn't doing that, I'd probably be working on this on the YouTube channel. That's the life of a small business owner. If you like this video, all right, do me a favor, okay? Like the damn video. That's the YouTube algorithm. Comment something. If any of this you're like, oh man, I can get into this channel, I can kind of get into this guy, then please subscribe to the channel, because we're trying to grow here. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm Alex Wallace. This is a day in the life of a small business owner, and I will see you in the next video.